Guys, it's super important that you smash like on this video. YouTube seems to hate my channel all of a sudden. I don't know what I did, but my videos aren't going out to subs and they are not being recommended. So the only thing you can do to help me is literally hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That would really help me out. Now today we're looking at bottom tree Striker Titan. This is because I do firmly believe that Behemoth Titan is no longer the best Titan subclass. I think Behemoth is still good, but I think bottom tree Striker with Trample, Knockout, Frontal Assault and Reversal really is back on top. Now, you know, am I jumping for joy that bottom tree Striker Titan is now the #1 Titan subclass? Not really, because we're just, you know, but we're kind of just back where we started before Beyond Light came out with the current meta, in my opinion. I think Behemoth for sure got hit the hardest out of the Stasis subclasses. I think Revenant and Shadebinder still are pretty good, especially Shadebinder. It's instant freeze, you know, it has so many instant freeze abilities. That means that it will always be pretty good. Revenant is no longer the oppressive, powerful, slowing machine it once was, but I mean, it still does slow you a lot and it has a lot of utility with Shadow Dive, with Backrest Dodge. You know, there's a lot going for the other two Stasis classes. Behemoth, the thing with Behemoth now is you're really going to need to spec into specific ways to play in order to get the most out of Behemoth now. It can still be good. I've been experimenting with a Heart of Inmost Light build, rocking Whisper of Chains, the Whisper of Rhyme to get an overshield, and trying to use Glacier Grenades a little bit more defensively. And, you know, it's still good, but it's just not top tier anymore, in my opinion. Especially the super is super weak now, no pun intended. It has a 47% damage resistance. It's very easy to kill. Literally a shotgun blast will leave you at 1 HP, a sliver of health. You're very easy to shut down now in that super. It's like I said, so it's still good, but it's not, in my opinion, the best. The best is what you're seeing in front of you. It is bottom tree Striker Titan. Now, why is bottom tree Striker Titan the best class? Well, for a start, take a look at the roaming super. Now, the roaming super, you probably didn't think much about it recently, right? Because Stasis was so powerful that freezing a Striker Titan running at you was probably very easy. Oh, we got grenade launcher, very painful, by the way. But now with Stasis being less, you know, apparent in the Crucible, and basically the only way you're really going to be getting frozen now in regular play is by a Shadebinder. Revenants and Behemoths aren't going to be freezing you. I mean, Behemoth can still use the Howl of the Storm melee technique to get a freeze off, but that's quite situational. But Cold Snap grenades and, you know, that sort of playstyle is kind of dead right now. I think the most useful grenade to use now, as far as Stasis goes, is the Glacier Grenade, and that's a lot more difficult to consistently freeze opponents with. Now that you can no longer be frozen, you know, all the time in neutral play, the skills of bottom tree Striker can really shine. Of course, Knockout is a fantastic perk. You break the shields of an enemy, you then have increased melee range and damage, and when you get a melee hit on someone, you can proc Frontal Assault. Frontal Assault gives you increased stability and damage on your weapon, and it automatically reloads your equipped weapon as well, which is really nice. Frontal Assault really can transform weapons and make them feel super accurate and far more deadly than they normally are. And there's also Reversal, the perk that gives you health back on a melee kill. Now, bottom tree Striker is the quintessential Titan subclass in my opinion. Obviously, you guys know me, I am a Sentinel Titan, cheeky wearing out medals in the background, by the way. But in terms of what you think about when you think about a Titan, aggressive, knocking down the door, you know, making things happen, hitting really hard, that is all bottom tree Striker. And I really do think if you enjoy that typical sort of Titan gameplay, hyper aggressive, I want to say hyper mobile, but you know, you stick on June Marches and you are getting around relatively well. I was using One-Eyed Mask, but June Marches are obviously top tier, and chaining June Marches with Knockout is a very powerful thing to do as well. Obviously, June Marches has the electric chain, and Knockout gives you the increased damage and range on the melee. And then obviously, like I previously mentioned, you have Reversal. The super also has the perk Trample, where getting kills extends the duration of the super, which is really solid. And like I said, this super feels so much better now by default as a result of the Stasis changes. So for those reasons that I've given you, this is why I think this subclass is now the best Titan class. Now I want to talk about why, you know, before people start making crazy statements like the Crucible is saved and stuff like that, I think we need to understand what's going on here in the Crucible now. And that is essentially, you know, we've kind of ended up back where we began. You know, Do you remember before Beyond Light came out, all the PvP people were saying, wait till Beyond Light. I know PvP is kind of dry and PvP is kind of stale. Wait till Beyond Light. Well, now Bungie has had to basically walk back on all of the things they added to PvP in Beyond Light. And we're just back where we started. Beyond Light came with no new maps. Beyond Light came with no new modes. Beyond Light came with no overhaul to comp or trials. So we are in basically an extremely stale sandbox. And we're back to a meta that we are all too familiar with. That meta would be Dawnblade. That meta would be Spectral Blades, Bottom Tree Striker. A couple of additions in there. Obviously, I think Shadebinder is still pretty meta. Revenant as well is still strong. And then you've got the added, I don't know if it's a good thing, but you've got the added meta of Chaos Reach, where people can spam supers at you incessantly. That's not a good thing in my opinion. It really isn't. As much as I love Kamehamehas, I don't want to get Kamehameha'd like 4 times a game by the same player, especially if he's not slaying out. So, you know, the Crucible is not in the best spot. I've personally been enjoying playing Yakuza a hell of a lot more on my Twitch channel. So if anyone out here has still yet to come by the stream, and if you watch the video all the way to the end, I'm going to assume you're a real one, you know? You're not one of those people who watches the video for 2 minutes and leaves. You enjoy my content and you're watching the video to its fullest. In that case, I'm just going to, you know, suggest that you come by the stream and check out me playing a game that I enjoy a hell of a lot more at the moment than Destiny. Now don't get me wrong guys, I enjoy Destiny, I enjoy creating content for the game, I have a lot of appreciation for my community and everything I've built around the game. But at the end of the day, the game right now is just so unbelievably stale that it's very hard for me to give you my 100% all and enthusiasm on stream. When I make my YouTube videos, it's very easy for me to make them fun and energetic because it's a video, right? It's more of an isolated product. When I'm live streaming, it's a different story. I get super frustrated at the game. But I will say I am glad that Stasis did get nerfed. Better late than never. It really is a case of, you know, 2 steps forward and then 6 steps backwards kind of thing. You know, the Crucible has a lot of work yet to be done. I hope in the future we get some good updates. In the meantime, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, feel free to come by to the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/shake. I'd love to see you over on the stream. And if you haven't already, leave a like, comment, and subscribe on this video. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.